Are you looking for an easy way to analyze the gold market, especially without using a whole bunch of indicators and other confusing things? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to break down my full analysis of the gold market for this upcoming week. So that way you can take full advantage of all of the things that may happen inside of the gold market for this upcoming week. And you're going to learn my step-by-step analysis, including my entries, my exits, and my profit target zones, and any other information that's going to help you make better decisions when trading the gold market. So if we look at the chart right now, we can see that for the most part, the market was in consolidation. And we can see that very clearly in the zone right here. Basically, price was going between these two ranges, roughly 26.66 and then also 26.07 roughly. So I didn't catch any trades inside of this market. But one of the Profitable Traders Academy members did. She caught 100 pips on gold, and this isn't her first trade inside of this market, so really ecstatic for her. And if you want to go ahead and join the community, then go ahead and check out the link inside of the description box below. The price will be going up for January 2025, so if you want to lock in the current price, then go ahead and check that out right now. So back to the charts. Let's go ahead and start on the weekly time frame, and we can see very clearly that price is on a really strong uptrend. There is a little bit of consolidation in the area where we're currently at. So let's go ahead and make sense of all of this. So looking at this market, the price has gotten up to 27.89 as the highest point inside of this market so far. Yes, it has the potential to go higher. When that's going to happen, we have no idea. But let's go ahead and mark off this level right now. And then let's go ahead and mark off another level. I see this level right here around 26.36. And then actually there's another level that I see right here, a newer level at 27.15, mainly because right here, this is the highest point. Over here, we do have a support, and then right here, we do have some sort of resistance that has formed inside of the market. And then I think I just want to draw a couple more levels. Well, just one more level on this time frame, and then we'll draw other levels on different time frames. So I'm gonna target 25.59, 25.50, and then let's go ahead and go down to the daily time frame. All right, so now we can see a lot more data inside of this particular time frame, and we can just look at these levels and make sure that they still make sense. So here's the very top. This still looks good. You can see that it's basically drawn at the wicks. And then this level right here, you can see that this is basically a resistance, even though this candle did gap down a bit. And then looking over here, this is a little bit choppy, so we may adjust this or may move this level. And then this is looking perfect, basically, because it's at the almost very bottom of this particular trend right here. So actually what I want to do, I want to take this and I want to move it over here. Mainly because we have all of these rejections and all of these resistances in this level. This is also sitting at 26.50, also a very round psychological level. So when I'm placing my levels, if it lines up with a psychological number, then it gives me more confidence in placing this level. And then I can just drag this over just a little bit so I can see what else is being touched. So as we drag this over, we can clearly see that there are some levels that are here. So this makes me feel really good about this level as well, because here we have a support. Here we kind of have a resistance. This candle did gap down, but still looking good. All right, cool. I think this is all that I want to adjust. Actually, I want to go back. So this, I want to do the same thing. I want to drag this over, make this really slim. And we can see the same thing here. We can see that this is a really strong support level. This is a rejection or resistance level. And this, even though there's a gap, basically another resistance that has formed. So this is also making me feel really comfortable about this level as well. So let's go ahead and go down to H4 time frame. Now this time I'm going to scoot things in a little bit just so that way we can see it a little bit better. Okay, great. So this level still looking great. This, now we got a lot more detail. We can see that there were several rejections from this level at 27, roughly 14, still looking good. Here we have this level right here. Let me see if I want to leave it alone because we have this support here. It is chopping through these candles here, but maybe on a lower time frame, it'll give us more information. Okay, so this level right here around 2650, we did move this around. We can see very clearly that there are several rejections on the H4 time frame right here. And then over here, if we look at more so recent price action, that's always going to be my focus. Then we're going to see rejections here. We did have some sort of fake out that happened, but we do have all of these rejections inside of here. So it's still looking good. This is looking kind of messy, but that was months ago. We want to really focus on stuff that has happened recently. So that is that. And then this level actually is looking really good right here because down here we have all of these supports that was formed and then also rejecting of this level. So that is still looking good to me. And there is another level that I may want to draw within here, especially because now I got more data. So I'm just going to draw it like right here. And this is mainly because this was that consolidation zone from this past week. And you can see that price rejected this level of 26, let's just say 18, really close to 26.20 all week. And pretty much it kept coming back to this. It pushed up, came back much later. So this was yesterday when it did that. Today is currently Friday. The market just closed. But anyway, it just really kept tapping into this level. And even before it made this really big move, there were several rejections throughout here. And then over here, it found support at this level before breaking that support, coming back to retest it, and then selling off tremendously. So this is a really good level. Let's go down to H2. Okay, so now that we're on H2, let's squeeze this in a little bit. Still looking good at the very top. This level still looking good. This level is still looking good. And I want to give a lot more attention to this over here, mainly because this just happened. So now that we got more detail, I'm actually going to pull this level down a bit. Now we're sitting at 26, let's say 12, mainly because now we have clear market structure. We have support here, broke. Now this is resistance. And then the same thing on the opposite side. And then we also have more supports and rejections here. And then we can see that price tapped into this level perfectly. So still in the consolidation right now, but this is what it's looking like for me. And then this level is still looking good. Let's go down to the H1 time frame. Okay, so now that we have a lot more data, we got to scoot this up to the top just so that way we can see everything. Okay, great. And right now, this is kind of like a bird's eye view of what is happening inside of the market. But just at this bird's eye view, we can see very clearly what's happening in the market. We may want to zoom in on some areas like right here just to see what's happening with these candles. So right now, this level at 27.14 that we drew, it still looks good to me. I mean, if you wanted to turn this into a line instead of a box, totally okay. Just think of all of these price levels as zones because price doesn't always tap into the perfect, or actually the candles don't always tap into the perfect price. All of these are zones. So you have to have a little bit of flexibility when you're thinking about this and when you're looking to take an active trade. So this is still looking good. Although we can make this box a little slimmer, I'm just going to leave it alone. And this is that area. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, cool. And then let me go back. Okay, cool. So this was the break. This was that support level. Let me reset this. Okay, so it's still looking good. All right, I just want to make sure I can see as much as I can see while I'm talking here. Okay, good. So this is still looking good. So here's that consolidation zone from this past week. And if we want, we could probably just move this down just a little bit more. And I'm actually liking this a lot better. What is this? This is 2609, really close to 2610. So a nice round psychological number. So that is amazing. And this up here, it's looking a little interesting now that we have more candles that are popping up. So let me see if this level, how this looks if I push it up. I'm actually liking it a little bit better. Let's scoot over. Okay, it's still making, okay. Still some support right there, so that's good. So this level, just to make it look a little bit neater, I moved it up to around 26.57, 26.55, really close, just 20 pips difference. But That can be a lot depending on your trading style. But anyway, but this is still looking good. I mean, even if I wanted to, I could push it up to the top of this. Actually, let me do that and see how that looks. Okay, now we're getting us to here. Actually, I like that. So I'm going to keep it right now at 26.65. I mean, but if you wanted to, you could pull it back down to where it was. Either way is fine. So right now, I just kind of want to be lined up with this previous support zone right here. And you can see all these wicks right here. So let's just zoom in so we can see that a little bit better. Okay, cool. So right here, you can see a bunch of rejections and supports, and then this is the resistance. So you can kind of move this up just a little bit. So that way it's at 26.65. I like that. I'm going to leave that. So just taking a quick look at the other stuff below, we can move this down just a tad bit. And now this is sitting at 25.58, 25.60, really close to that. But it's okay if you leave that alone. But overall, I love the way that this is looking, and really just putting a boundary around this whole consolidation zone. And now we're going to talk about the game plan for this upcoming week. So since price has been in this huge consolidation literally the entire week, this has been really challenging to trade, and you can see that there are some areas with really clean candles. Basically, it just means that one after another, bearish, 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 instead of all of this chop where you have bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, just kind of, you know, almost every other candle, especially through here. And then today, just really bad chop. So what I want to do, I actually want to wait until price breaks out of this consolidation. So for the most part, unless I go down to maybe an M30 time frame and identify other zones, I'm probably not going to do that. But let me measure this zone really quick. Okay, so this is this is actually a lot of points. So you could possibly do that. I don't think I'm going to do that just because I really like H1 as an entry time frame on gold. So I'm probably just going to wait until price breaks out of this consolidation. So pretty much above here, which is 26, roughly 65, I'll be looking for buys. And then below here, I'll be looking for sells. Mainly because all of this right here is just noise, just a lot of noise, especially this right here. Like if you just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, a trading idea is essentially from here. So marking off this level right here at 26.44, and then trading this all the way to maybe about here. This is about 100 pips. So that could be a really good trading idea, and possibly up to here. So this is like 200 points. So that could be a good trading idea for sure. So let me put the arrow right there. Okay, cool. And then another trading idea would be on the downside. Now this will be a little bit tricky, and let me zoom in because this is getting really hard to see. So, all right, cool. So on the downside, and then let me drag this over. I just want to see where price is hitting on this line. So we got a gap here. We got a break. Yeah, that's not really helpful right there. But okay, so this could be another trading idea. So pretty much once price breaks out of this little zone right here, you could do that, and then, or I could do that. And then this is 200 points. So this is a possibility. Although, in my opinion, it could be really challenging to trade, especially because of all of this that happened inside of the zone. And it can also be very risky. So one of the things is this wick right here. This was a really long wick. And because we have this really long wick, it could mean that there's a possibility that price comes down to here and then reverse and then enter this zone again. So essentially, this would be, for me, this area would be a no trade zone. So I'm just going to box that out. Let me save my chart. And that pretty much, I would just ride the wave. So if we look over here, we have, you know, decent price action right here. So we could continue the trend. If there's a lot of volume and momentum, then wow, that's 500 points. This is actually one of my trading ideas from last week, and that could very well still happen. It just depends on what the market wants to do. That's why I want to wait until it breaks out of this consolidation. But let's just say if the price, or if the market decides to go up, then the other trading idea I would have would be roughly to about there. And what I would do, and let me mark this off. So going up to 2686, and then the other thing would be to, let me move this over so you can see it, and this would be another price target. So let's just say if I wanted to wait for the break of this, and then this would be TP1, TP2, TP3 for me, and then on the downside, with a little bit of caution because of this wick, this area would be actually would be more like right here. So let me draw that out, like right there. So this would be like TP1, kind of TP2, and then TP3 would be ultimately down there. So this is my game plan for the upcoming week. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and give this video a like and tell me what you like in the comment section below, and I will see you next week.